All right. Shalom, shalom.
Shalom, shalom.
First and foremost, as always, before I get started, we want to give all praise, our honor, and all glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Akwadash. And next, double honors to the head apostles / elder bishops of the great millstone who teach and who rule well. Peace, blessings, and safety. To all you sincere Akim, keep pushing, keep believing, and keep the faith, regardless what people hear or whether they forbear. All right, and so the title of this lesson we're going into, all right, is you see modern day slavery as recent as 2009, and this is from a video clip I was sent from a brother out in Dallas, Texas, and we're gonna do a reaction to it, and of course, as always, bring out some scriptures, and Lord's will is edifying to the elect. Okay, so first, before we even do that, I actually got two clips. I'm gonna bring out this first clip. It's only about 45 seconds. So we'll play that one first, and then we'll get to the main event. All right. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Oh, crap. So I can bear with me. I pressed the wrong thing. It's, hang on 1 second. No. Okay. And this video first. All right. Can you see the video?
Come.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go full screen and play.
1787. Delegates at the Constitutional Convention are divided on how slaves will be counted for the purpose of representation in the United States Congress. Northern states don't want slaves to be counted at all, while southern states want them to be counted as a whole person. An agreement is reached, which states that each slave will be counted as 3/5 of a person when determining representation in the House of Representatives and for taxation purposes. As a result of the 3/5 compromise, southern states gain political power while excluding the slave population from the political process. The compromise remains part of the US Constitution until the passage of the 13th Amendment, which abolishes slavery. The 3/5 compromise has long been a stain on the merits of the US Constitution, while reminding Americans of its complicated and painful history with slavery.
Hi,
So essentially, the whole concept of the 3/5 clause is was to further demean Jake. All right, to present the concept of within every 5 slaves, only 3 would be counted free. All right, as if to say that our lives are not worth anything. Our lives are not above serving or being within the confinement of serving Esau, Edom. All right, so that further lines up with the prophecy how we would be considered a reproach and a byword and a proverb. All right, before going into Deuteronomy 28 and 37, and that's why these nations look at us. All right, how they look at us, especially Esau, Edom. All right, because to this day they still have that mentality. How we're 3/5 of a human being. All right, regarding the so-called Negroes as well as the so-called indigenous. All right, and this is why to this day, the so-called indigenous, do not have their land. All right, their land is in the possession of Esau, Edom. All right, and they're drinking themselves to death on the reservations. All right, Judah, the southern kingdom, still doesn't have the 40 acres and the mule that Esau promised them. Why? Because we're servants of tribute. Like it speaks about in Baruch 3 and 8, how we would be we would be brought here, all right, to serve this devil, man. All right. Yep. That's essentially all that really introduces, the concept of Esau Edom's mentality towards us that we're property, all right, in every sense of the word, all right, debt, property, all right, and there's still slavery going on, which we're about to go ahead and touch on, all right, in this epistle.
Yep, and then also, one thing that you said that they still see us as property. Okay, when you're born, you get your birth certificate, you get your social security card, all right, and all these different things, but they're taking it a step further, all right, with the Revelation 13 and 16, the MOTB. All right, they want to, back in the day when they had slaves, they would brand them, okay, and that was done in many different empires, okay. Any empires where there was slavery, you know, they would brand them, but in this most recent, all right, here in Babylon the Great, the daughter of Babylon, America, they would literally brand slaves with that hot iron, okay, but now they're getting ready to do the same thing, but this time it's going to be an implantable device, okay, the RFID microchip, which is the MOTB spoken of in Revelation 13 and 16. So, yes, they see us as property, and that's how they're going to brand us in these modern times. They're going to try to mix iron and clay, as it says in Daniel, the second chapter, I believe.
And they want to, you know, and that's a part of this part of Esau Edom's, you know, New World Order agenda, where, you know, he wants to implant people with that digital all, you know, that all, you know, we're referencing that all mentioned in Deuteronomy 15 and 17. Right, so modern day, you know, all is going to be in a digital sense, all right, by way of the digital framework of this beast system, all right, just like I mentioned in Revelation 13 chapter you just quoted, all right, you know, because this is how Esau is going. This is like it says in Jeremiah 15:33, he refused to let Judah and Israel go, or the southern and northern kingdoms, all right, because without us, he can't survive, okay, you know, so he wants to keep our people in a slave-like mentality. And this is why Jacob developed that Stockholm syndrome, where they can't see anything beyond America, Babylon the Great. Even when they hear the kingdom of heaven, that doesn't pertain to them if it doesn't include Massa or Esau Edom, the subsequent white man, our main oppressor. All right. When we explain to our people why he's our oppressor, they have a problem with it, because case in point, the whole 3/5 clause, that, you know, information that came out in association with the 13th Amendment. All right. The 13th Amendment and the 14th Amendments contradict each other, because it says in the 13th Amendment, you know, basically how we're free except for involuntary servitude and whatnot.
Right.
Okay, mainly within the prison reform, within the prison industrial complex. And in the 14th Amendment, it says that the 14th Amendment really pertains to slaves that weren't free.
Yes.
All right, case in point. So that contradicts. So that's a part of Esau's moral decrees, man, that we're going to touch base on in this lesson, and just further explore all facets of his deception in regards to us supposedly being free, because we're not free. All right. If you have a social security number, then you're a debt slave, man. All right. And like you were saying, they want to take it. He wants to take it a step further by implanting everyone with that digital all. All right.
Yep. So we're gonna go ahead and play the video. All right. I'm gonna share the screen, and then let's go full, and we'll just stop and interject, you know, throughout the lesson, and, you know, bring out scriptures to show. Because pretty much the idea of it is to show where, you know, reality and the scriptures meet. Okay, that's what the Bible is all about. You know, the Bible frames everything that's happened in the past, that's happening in the present, and what's going to happen in the future. All right, so that's what we do as a watchman, is we line things up with biblical prophecy. All right, so I'm going to go full screen, and let's get this party started. All right.
It is as though we're still on a plantation.
Anyone who thinks that slavery ended in the 1860s with the signing of the Emancipation Proclamation are grievously wrong. Slavery has been with us and continues to have its manifestations in a variety of ways.
Imagine you and your family living in this barn, forced to live like animals and with animals. No heat, no electricity, none of the things we commonly take for granted. This is the case of one family, held as slaves up until the 1960s. We found this barn at Grange Hall Road and MS Highway 568 near Vicksburg, Mississippi in July 2009. This is the true life story of former slave Mae Louise Miller.
Well, you know, I came from a very poor family, and we was in slavery. We didn't have food, clothes, shoes. We really didn't have much of nothing. And the clothes we had was a cocoa sack. Each one of us had a cocoa sack with 3 holes cut in it, and that was your clothes, your shirt, pants, and underclothes, or whatever you want to call it, dress. We had no shoes. We had to kill what we eat. We didn't have a stove. We really didn't even have a house. We lived laid on the grass, on the dirt. The hay was our bed, and we covered with the hay was our cover. We laid with snakes. We ate snakes. We ate the crickets. We ate the worms. We ate the birds. We ate the bird eggs. We ate the rabbits. We ate the frogs. We were just kind of like Tarzan. But it was that come in front of you. That was your meal, if you caught it. And that was our motto. It was more than me, but I don't call names. But if we caught a worm, each one of us took a bite of that worm. If we caught a cricket, although you think a cricket is dope, but we broke it into pieces that each one of us could have a piece of the cricket. If we caught a fish that done washed on the bank side, whatever, when we bit it, everybody took a bite.
President Abraham Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation in 1863. By 1865, the 13th Amendment, abolishing slavery, had become constitutional law in most states. And in 1865, Lincoln became the first U.S. president to be assassinated. During Reconstruction, most Southern states ratified the 13th Amendment. However, they also put in place a series of laws that severely restricted the rights of African Americans called the Black Codes. Mississippi was the first state to institute the Black Codes, and its legislators didn't ratify the 13th Amendment until March 16, 1995. Johnny Thomas is mayor of Glendora, Mississippi. Thomas also grew up in slavery.
Everybody else was in charge of you. That was a big part of me looking at how we had to go to the owners to get anything. They had their own plantation store. That's where we had to eat from. That's where my mom was always.
All right, so I stopped it right there because of what he just said. I got some precepts that I wanted to bring out. Okay, he said that we had to go to our owners, all right, to get anything that we wanted, all right, any kind of sustenance or anything like that. So that is actually in the prophecies, in the curses, Deuteronomy 28th chapter. Okay, that's Deuteronomy 28 and 48. Let me go ahead and pull that up right quick. Okay. Actually, as a matter of fact, I got two precepts I'm gonna pull up.
Okay.
So, all right, this is the first one. It's Nahum, the 3rd chapter. All right, Nahum chapter 3 and verse 1. It says, "Woe to the bloody city! It is all full of lies and robbery. The prey departeth not." Okay, now back then this was speaking of Nineveh. All right, but America is also spiritual Nineveh as well, because Nineveh was the land of captivity for the northern kingdom of the Israelites, okay, which they are the so-called Latinos, Native American Indians. All right, and America is also the captivity for both the southern and the northern kingdom Israelites. Okay, so this was talking about ancient Nineveh, but it also applies to spiritual Nineveh, okay, which is America, Babylon the Great. So it says, "Woe to the bloody city! It is all full of lies and robbery." This place was founded off of nothing but lies and robbery. Literally, they stole all the land from the natives. Okay, they stole a whole nation of people, brought them over here to North America. All right, and they had both us and so-called natives, in slavery. All right, they defrauded us, had us hundreds of years of free labor. Okay, and then that final part, it says, "The prey departeth not." Okay, so who is that prey? That's the Israelites. Okay, southern and northern kingdom, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. All right, now what he said that we would have to go. He had to go to his enemies, the people that had enslaved him, pretty much for everything. All right, that's in the curses. Okay, it's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, and this is one of the main chapters in how we identify who the Israelites are today, because according to verses 45 and 46 of this chapter, these curses will remain on the Israelites until the time of the end. All right, and even though we're not in physical chains, right now, even though according to this video, there is some people that are still, physically in chains or, enslaved, but this still applies. Okay, this is Deuteronomy 20:48. "Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee." Okay, now that part happened, it was fulfilled, but even to this day, we're at this day in our captivity, all right, serving our enemies. And if we don't, then we don't get anything. We'll be poor, destitute. We're still poor and we're still destitute. But if we don't go to work that 9 to 5 every day, that 40, 50 hours a week, however long, everybody has a different schedule. But if we don't go do that, then what's going to happen? We're going to be, like I said, destitute. All right, that's because of the curses. Because the whole world was really made for the sake of the elect. It was made for the Israelites. Okay, we're not supposed to be. This is part of the curses, having to work. What's what I'm looking for? Having to pretty much work for everything. Fight for scraps. All right, that's because we're in a lower state because of the curses. So, you got anything to say, brother?
Khan, can you bring out Baruch 3 and 8?
Yep.
Yeah, because it further ties into that particular land where we were to experience these curses.
Right.
All right. Going into further expanding on what that bloody city is prophesying about in Nahum the 3rd chapter, how it's not the ancient Assyrian Empire or ancient Assyria or ancient Nineveh, but America, Babylon the Great, has various spiritual aliases. All right, so we know that's referring to America, the main place for captivity, a place of drawing waters. All right.
All right. Yep. All right. Yep. So Baruch 3 and 8, it says, "Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us. for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from the Lord our God. All right, and speak on that.
Yeah, yeah. So even to this day, all right, we are still in captivity, all right, because and where we were the main place where we were scattered, okay, to the main place for captivity, okay, within the North Country, all right, prophesied in Jeremiah 16th chapter, Jeremiah 31st chapter, Isaiah 11th chapter, and so forth, where the multitude of the captives of Jerusalem are going to be gathered from where they were scattered to serve slavery, all right, and to be or looked at as or perceived as a reproach and a gazing stock and a laughing stock, all right, before the Edomites, all right, these bondmen and bondwomen, okay, that we pursuing the Deuteronomy 28th chapter that we were to serve, all right, to be subject to payments, okay, even through debt, okay, through the Federal Reserve Act that was signed in 1913 to make us debt slaves, all right, and this is why eventually they want to transition us from being in debt, to the Federal Reserve note, to being completely subjugated under their digital system, or through that digital all right. Yep. And if they have these immortal decrees such as the 13th and 14th Amendments, set up, in times past, to keep us in that enslaved state. But now they want to take it a step further. They have their moral decrees and their draconian measures, all right, to bring those things to pass. And that further identifies who we are, all right. The people that are subject to payments, all right, to these devils, all right, having to pay them taxes, which is defrauding. Okay, that's going against the scriptures, man. That just further identifies who we are.
I've got one as well. I got another one that just came to mind. Haggai, all right, 1 and 6. Okay, this is a precept, a curse on perpetual poverty. All right, it says, "Ye have sown much and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but there is none warm. And he that earneth wages to put it into a bag with holes." Okay, so, and that's to fulfill prophecy as well, because according to Zephaniah 3, I believe verse 12 and 13, it says, "I will leave in the midst of thee a poor and afflicted people." Okay, so, this is not our rest. The Israelites are going to, they're going to receive their kingdom, all right, once Yahushua comes. Okay, but on this side, we are yet this day in our captivity. All right, but, so I'm going to go ahead and get this video back up. All right, bear with me. Oh, crap, so I can. All right, get the video back. I gotta redo it again because it loses sound every time I switch tabs. Okay. All right, we're back. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear it.
We never had it. Growing up, that was tough.
What were you telling me about this area?
Oh, well, I'm just talking about this being a plantation type of community, and pretty much in the shape that it's in, because individuals hope that it went back to the cotton field as such.
What do you mean by plantation type?
Well, we was created around plantation. This entire area here was pretty much farmers, and now they are pretty much mechanized and corporate farming. Therefore, leaving individuals here to fend for themselves and hopefully to keep the status quo. When I say status quo, keeping individuals without. It's their mission, it seems, that the community stay poor as it was in the past. I'm a part of the Swan Lake. The Swan Lake community was owned by the Floats. And the Floats own the plantation in Swan Lake as well as in Glendora.
In July of 2009, not only did we interview May Louise Miller, who was a former slave until the 1960s, but we uncovered a present-day plantation. We're concealing the identities of those living on this plantation to protect them from any repercussion.
You had housing in the city with the move, so you would pay like $70 a month?
Well, as long as it's around where I stay, yeah, I can do that.
We couldn't get them to say anything about
the owners on camera, but they explained to us off camera exactly what was going on, and they said to us if we were able to get them off of the plantation, that they would give us the full story on camera.
Human rights activists and right.
Okay, I pause it again, and reason I pause it, of course, is always going to bring up some scripts. So I'm actually posting them on the comment board, okay, and I'm just going to show them on the screen. Everyone don't have to keep switching tabs. So the first one I brought, I'm going to bring out this one here. Okay, Zephaniah chapter 3 and verse 12. All right, with the guy, he said that they make sure that the people stay in perpetual poverty. Can you hear me fine, by the way?
Fine.
Okay, good. All right, so this is Zephaniah 3 and 12. I will also leave in the midst of thee an afflicted and poor people, and they shall trust in the name of the Lord. Okay, so that's our hope right there. All right, the name of the Lord. Okay, not in this system where our enemies can pretty much do whatever they want. All right, of course, it's all it's the Heavenly Father that is controlling it all. But once again, this is our punishment. I made a video on that yesterday. This is not our rest. This is our punishment. We're in hell right now. All right, and the Lord, He's given us mercy to where we can have the basic necessities, what we need. We got our health, so we're thankful just for that. But hey man, this is no way to live. Okay, that's why we got to be sighing and crying to the Lord to deliver us. All right, the next precept I want to bring out is Deuteronomy 28:66. Okay, one of the curses, it says, "And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shall have none assurance of thy life." Okay, so when the interviewers went to the plantation, they said, well, we want to tell you what's really going on, but we can't because why? They're afraid that the slave master is going to kill them. All right, they're afraid of the repercussions. Okay, I mean, is that really any way to live? That's how we know, once again, man, that we are up under the curses, because no one else fits. No one else fits these these curses. As Deuteronomy says, Deuteronomy 28th chapter says, okay, these curses were left for a sign, for a wonder, okay, upon thy seed, forever, so that we know who we are in these last days, man. All right, but this is what we saw. It's really sad that it's happening. As recently as 2009, but I mean, this is what's happening for hundreds of years. From 1619 on up. And yeah, man, that's what it is. It's the curses of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. So you got anything to say? Any precepts you want to get?
Yeah, can you grab Isaiah 5 and 13, Baba Kashaf?
All right. It'll be coming up just a sec. Isaiah 5 and 13. And boom, it's on the board. All right. Isaiah 5 and 13. Boom, it's up. Okay. All right, I'll go ahead and read it. Isaiah 5 and 13, it says, "Therefore my people are gone into captivity because they have no knowledge, and their honorable men are famished, and their multitude dried up with thirst." Okay, you want to speak on it?
So our people have gone into captivity, because of our iniquities, man. Our transgression against the law, statutes, commandments, against the first holy covenant, right, which was a blood oath spoke about in Exodus 24 chapters. So if he broke that blood oath, the Heavenly Father Yahweh cried out blood, and that's the real reason why slavery happened. All right, that's the real reason why we're still being persecuted by our enemies. Okay, of the natural Gentiles and of the unnatural Gentiles out in the streets, going to the curse. All right, in Deuteronomy 28 and 66, how we will have no assurance of our lives. All right, because of our iniquity against the Heavenly Father. All right, so the prophecies of Holy Scriptures, all right, including the mentioning of these curses, for it identifies who we are. Okay, because of that lack of knowledge, now our people being that skeptical, all right, and that reproach of the world, all right, like it says in Hosea 4 and 6, we're destroyed for lack of knowledge. Okay, that people are the most gullible, all right, the most detestable joke of a people on the earth because of the curses. Even though we're the mightiest people on the earth, all right, we're the most innovative, creating all these particular inventions in the time of chattel slavery that Esau took credit for. Okay, all right, including the telephone, the the ironing board, you name it, we invented that. Okay, and there's other examples that further confirm that we are greater than him. We're the salt of the earth, but we don't have anything to show for that. All right, because these curses here, and this is why men have become famished, even our honorable men. All right, and that's why we've been dried up of that thirst, which is at the fountain of living waters in Jeremiah, the 2nd chapter, which is that very wisdom, knowledge, understanding. Okay, that has caused our people to become famished. All right, and it goes into more detail. If you could continue to, you could get the next 2 verses, Baba Kashaf.
Okay, the next 2 verses, which ones?
Khan.
Which ones?
14 and 15.
Okay.
Isaiah 5 and Isaiah, the same chapter, verses 14 and 15.
Okay. All right. So lucky. Bear with me.
All good.
And as a matter of fact, I text you. I said, any scripts you want me to get, go ahead and let me know ahead of time so I can already have them up.
Okay.
But I'm gonna go ahead and put it up now. You said Isaiah 14. All right. Isaiah 5 and 14, Salaki. Okay. And it's up. 1 sec. Boom. Okay. I'll read it. Isaiah 5 and 14. It says, therefore, hell hath enlarged herself and opened her mouth without measure, and their glory and their multitude and their pomp, and he that rejoiceth shall descend into it.
Yes, when it speaks about the hell enlarging itself, it's not talking about that so-called fiery dimension where all wicked souls go to when they depart their flesh on this earth, right? Because hell, both heaven and hell are conditions, and we're in our hell, all right. And that hell, our manner of hell has enlarged itself for us, all right. Within these curses, but which is why we're in the condition that we're in right now, all right. The heavy affliction, oppression that we're enduring, all right, is because of is because of our transgression against the Heavenly Father. This is why this hell has enlarged itself against her, and that her is Yasharala, the bride of the Heavenly Father. You can also liken it to a woman, as in the wife or proverbial wife of the Heavenly Father. All right.
That's right, the daughter of Zion.
Khan. That's right.
The daughter of
Zion.
Right?
Khan. Yep. All right. So within our pomp, our pompous, mindset, we have boasted ourselves against the Heavenly Father, and that was that smoke. That became that smoke that burned in his nose. That spoke about believing. I believe it's in the book of Jeremiah somewhere. All right.
Yep.
But anyway, you can continue the 15th verse.
Okay. All right. Isaiah 5 and 15. It says, and the mean man shall be brought down, and the mighty man shall be humbled, and the eyes of the lofty shall be humbled.
Yep, like it says in Daniel, the 9th chapter, Daniel chapter 9, verse 11 and 12, that all of Israel, would have suffered the greatest evil under the sun, roughly paraphrasing. All right. It doesn't matter how much more mightier or how much more wise of certain men were than the other nation. I mean the other people of our nation. We all went through it, man. Okay. And so even our mightiest men have been humbled. Okay, especially within these prison, Esau's prisons. All right. It's prophesied in Isaiah the 42nd chapter, verses 22 to 24. Our people to be thrown in these prison homes, man, these prison houses. Okay. Under Esau's prison industrial complex. All right. And which will happen is to consist of mainly the demographic of Jake. All right. The demographic of people that mainly or predominantly fills up the prison industrial complex of Esau are the so-called Negroes and indigenous. Okay. Specifically so-called Negroes and Hispanics. All right. Because of these curses here. All right. So this is why the Heavenly Father brought us so low. All right. And why our enemies are above us so high, that mocks us, all right, that continues to benefit and profit off of us, all right, within the slave labor that we're still enduring, all right, within corporate or in the corporate world, within the prison reform, where they pay Jake like $1, a day. The only reason they pay Jake that little amount, that small amount, is so they can technically say that's not slavery. So they can trick our minds and make us believe that we're no longer enslaved. And that's a thing of the past. When they recently had a slave auction down there in Libya back in 2017, case in point. So slavery is still a present day thing, and Esau's a liar. Okay, he's trying to make our people believe that we're not slaves. Okay, but we're still slaves, man. Once again, if you have a social security number, you're a slave. And the reason why we are slaves is because of these curses here, being bestowed upon us, all right, for going against our power.
Yep. And you mentioned, I got that precept. You mentioned how the prisons are primarily populated with, so-called Negroes and Latinos. This is Isaiah 42:22. But this is the people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes, and they are hid in prison houses. They are for a prey, and none delivereth, for a spoil, and none saith restore. All right. So, once again, man, this is because this is all due to the curses. I'm gonna get this right quick.
And while you're getting that, I just wanted to expound on what you read in that prophecy, because this is, and this is why I'm sure I know you're getting ready to bring it up, but in Isaiah the 10th chapter, but this is why, this is see, these curses for to identify who you are, because case in point, like Jeremiah, our forefather Jeremiah said in Jeremiah 2:14, is Israel a homeborn slave? Why is he spoiled? All right, this is, and this further goes into why we were spoiled, robbed and spoiled, okay, by the fowler, spoken in Psalm the 91st chapter, Esau, Edom, okay, because case in point, in terms of slavery, okay, the mentioning of slavery within the curses of the prophecies of the scriptures for identifying who the lost 12 tribes of Israel are, once again, to further just briefly touch on Esau's, two main amendments, okay, in association with our secular history of slavery, the 13th Amendment, okay, it's especially where when you look into it, it says that the 13th Amendment is so-called abolished slavery and involuntary servitude, except as punishment for a crime, okay. But in this corrupt system of Esau within the West, these modern day slave patrols that they call cops and law enforcement, personnel, can plant drugs on Jake, okay, and then present that as a crime within Esau's Freemasonic court systems, and that's how they could further, blame their brethren, like it says in Revelation, the 12th chapter. All right, so there's nothing fair in this system, okay. And Jake's gonna have to, the majority of Jake's gonna have to learn the hard way, okay, like Sandra Massey, okay, continuing to, live within the effects of Esau's wine until that the Heavenly Father brings that judgment, because we were not brought here to share the prosperity with our oppressor. We were brought here to serve slavery under our oppressor and worship his gods collectively. And only the elect were preordained and predestinated to be delivered, from those snares of death, okay, within Esau's covenant of death, which is his wine and fornication, that Western philosophy. All right, and this is why people are still enslaved now, because the Heavenly Father set these people over us. All right, case in point. All right, so this is why our people are still enslaved. All right, yep. This is why the lowest of all nations, pursuit of Deuteronomy 20:43, is risen above us very high. We came down very low. All right, there's only logical explanation behind that, because we're just greater than Esau, Edom, in every aspect, man.
Right. Well, the scriptures, I'm about to put it up. It tells you in Deuteronomy, Daniel 4:17. I'm actually just gonna quote it. It says that the Lord has set it up over us the basest of men. All right, talking about Esau. All right, so yeah, it's all because of these curses, man. But these curses were left for a sign and for a wonder. Okay, so that we would know who we are in the last days. Deuteronomy 28:45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee and shall pursue thee and overtake thee till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee. All right, verse 46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. Okay, so this is how we identify. Okay, according to prophecy, this is how we identify the righteous and the wicked. Okay, but we're going to continue on the video. Give me 1 sec. All right, give me a thumbs up if you can hear once it starts playing.
Writer Dick Gregory explains the mentality of present-day slavery.
And so you sit and you look at a mentality. And so when I looked at that film, I didn't think about my mother. They would bring my mother to the house. And when they bring my mother to the house, none of us had to go with them. So the master said.
And their dwelling places for all generations.
This was the picture.
They call their lands after their own name.
So they raped my mom.
And when it
First and foremost, I want to give
came
praise, honor,
to
and
me, I
glory
was
to
sitting there crying because
Yahweh,
you don't know what's going on. I was sitting up there crying in this.
Hashem,
And so the lady said,
honors to the head
they
apostle,
coming to me. So the
Millstone, who teaching, who
master's
will
wife said
lead you blessings and safety.
to him,
All you sincere, I can keep pushing, keep believing in
and the
faith,
other
regardless of
brothers or
fear,
whoever they
and
were.
forbear.
And she said,
Start off
and they was
so
sort of
verse
looking, and
because
she said, "Oh no,
the guy in the video that we just
no,
watched, he
honey,
was saying
no,
that most people they think
no."
it's going to be a recession.
And she says, she's not even a heifer yet. I didn't learn what that word was till over in the 70s. And she said, she's not even a heifer yet. She's just a yearling.
Hey, I think
You
I think it was a
but they
video. The video that you were playing
gave
in the
my
background
mouth.
kind of drowned out the audio.
Wait, say it again. Salaki.
Yeah, there was a video. I think there sounded like there was a video you were playing with your voice in the video. It was playing for like 45 seconds. It kind of drowned out what she was saying.
Oh, my bad.
About 45 minutes, about 45 seconds to a minute.
I thought I had muted my mic. My bad, though. I was because I was editing something actually. Editing a video I made prior. I can rewind it. Maybe rewind it right quick, Salaki.
Con.
Okay. When I looked at that film, I didn't think about my mother.
They would bring my mother to the house. And when they bring my mother to the house, one of us would have to go with my mother. So the master said. And so this was the particular time that I had to go with my mom. So they raped my mom. And when it came to me, I was sitting there crying because when you don't know what's going on, I was sitting up there crying in this. And so the lady said they coming to me. So the master's wife said to him and the other brothers or whoever they were, and she said, and they were sort of looking, and she said, "Oh no, no, honey, no." And she says, she's not even a heifer yet. I didn't learn what that word was till over in the 70s. And she said, she's not even a heifer yet. She's just a yearling. You can't. But they gagged my mouth and they raped me just like they did my mama. And there I was laying in that pile of blood. A little bit of girl didn't know what to do. And his wife had to clean me up. But that never stopped. And I remember telling my mom, if you go tell that old nigger what happened here today, we's gonna kill everybody.
We took this issue of present-day slavery, peonage, to Capitol Hill. We contacted members of...
Okay. All right. So I got those precepts, brother. Brother Ayab, you want to go ahead and bring them out?
Time.
Okay. So we'll start here, the book of Lamentations, chapter 5 and verse 11. They ravished the women in Zion and the maids in the cities of Judah.
So the people of Zion, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, Israelite foreigners, the Israelites, the lost of tribes of Israel, are under the curses of the Heavenly Father bestowed upon us, all right, including being given over to the hands of our enemies, where they would be able to do all manners of evil against us, as it prophesied in Daniel, the 9th chapter, all right, from verse 11 to 12, all right, including, raping our men, women, and children, because there's a term known as buck breaking. Esau take the strongest buck, which is the strongest slave, all right, and to bend the will of the entire, Israelite community, right, including specific, our individual Israelite homes, he would buck break the man, the husband, in front of the entire family, all right, to psychologically condition the minds of our people to fear him and yearn to serve him, okay, in need of their survival, All right. So this was happening to the men, women, and children, like she mentioned. The slave master had his way with her. All right. This is prophesied here in this prophecy here, man. All right, because when it also mentions the maids in the cities of Judah. Judah is the southern kingdom, represents the southern kingdom. All right, the modern day Negroes. All right, our people were maids. Our people are still maids, like she was. All right, which Esau referred to them as mammies, where he was having their way with them. All right, laying down with them, spreading his seed inside of them, and then producing tares like Frederick Douglass. Okay, so once again, this curse is very specific, man, and if Fred played out, okay, in reality, including what happened to that Eve. Okay, so once again, these curses further identify who we are and that we're still in slavery. Okay.
Yep. I'm gonna read on through Lamentations 5 and 12. It says, "Princes are hanged up by their hand; the faces of elders were not honored." Verse 13, "They took the young men to grind, and the children fell under the wood." All right, the woman, they said, "Hey, she just a child," and they had no pity, man. All right, and this documentary we talking about as recent as 2009, bro. That's insane. It was 15 years ago, man. 15 years ago. All right. Lamentations 5 and 14. The elders have ceased.
And real quick, Salaki, I just want to expand on that point in the 13th verse where it said it took the children to grind. They would even have, because it says, it says in Ecclesiastes, the 12th chapter, the grinding will cease and laboring will cease, because in Isaiah 19 and 15, it says there should be no more work in Egypt, all right? Meaning Egypt, meaning the house of bondage, and America is modern day Egypt. Okay, so eventually, there's not going to be any more work because this economy is going to collapse, all right? And where Esau is going to usher in his MOTB, all right? To brand his slaves, all right, that are still under his subjection, which are people mainly, the captives of Jerusalem. Okay, the case in point, when it mentioned that they took the young men to grind, they even had the youth of our nation out there working, man, laboring within these egregious, grueling slave conditions, out in the cotton fields, for example, picking cotton, pricking their fingers, getting blood all over their fingers. Okay, and if they weren't picking the cotton, quick enough or meeting the standards to the so-called slave master, and they would get lynched, they would get beaten to death, or would face whatever manner of persecution, man. Okay, you got it, Doc.
Yep. I get that next verse. Lamentations 5 and 14, it says, "The elders have ceased from the gate, the young men from their music." Verse 15, it says, "The joy of our heart is ceased, our dance is turned into mourning."
Exactly. This is why we were singing them the Negro spirituals, the so-called Negro spirituals. All right, like it mentions in like it mentions in the book of Psalms. Was a Psalm 137. Where it said they would yearn for us to sing that song Salakia, Psalm 137:3 Salakia. That's what I was talking about. Psalm 137:3.
Oh, boom! I'm about to put it up. That's hey, man. You bring out that fire tonight, man.
I'm
gonna put that up. All right, Psalms chapter 137 and verse 3. All right, and it's coming right up. Okay, I'll go ahead and read it. All right, it says, For there they that carried us away captive required of us a song, and they that wasted us required of us mirth, saying, Sing us one of the songs of Zion. Goodness, I ain't even. Hey, I'll be straight up with you, man. I ain't even heard that one before. 5 and 11, bro. Man, you cooking tonight, bro. You are cooking, bro. Oh my, that could only be us.
It has to be, man. It has to be because through the spirit up, when you read the lyrics in that song, in that coming forth to carry me home, swing low, swing chariot. Right. There's a particular verse where it said, "Looked over Jordan, and what did I see?" Now Jordan Jordan's on the outskirts of the Holy Land. So why are so-called slaves that are supposedly worth nothing, they're 3/5 of a human being due to Esau's 3/5 clause, singing about an area that's near the Holy Land? In other words, what knowledge would so-called low-level, inferior black slaves have of an area known as Jordan, around the Holy Land. Why? Because they're from Jerusalem. They're from the Holy Land near Jordan, and that's why they said, "Swing low, swing chariot, coming forth to carry me home." Home is Jerusalem, and that's why in Galatians 4:26 it says, if you can grab that, Bob Kashad, real quick.
You said Galatians 4 and what?
Yeah, 26.
Okay. All right. Coming right up.
No, we'll come back to this and then go back to the video.
Okay. Yep, no, you good. You good. Yeah, you cooking it up, man. Galatians 4:26. And it is on the comment board. I'll pull it up. I'll go ahead and read it. It says, "But Jerusalem, which is above, is free, which is the mother of us all."
It's not Africa. It's not Mexico. It's not any of these other lands in the world today. It's Jerusalem. Jerusalem is our holy land, and this is why our ancestors, were singing about Jordan, which is near Jerusalem, because we're from Jerusalem. And that's why we were singing for the chariots to swing low, to swing low so they could beam us up. They could translate us like our forefathers Enoch, Elijah, and even Yahushua mentioned in Acts the 1st chapter and take us back home. That's going to happen in our lifetime. All right, we've seen Isaiah the 26th chapter, St. Matthew the 24th chapter, and so forth, man. Go ahead.
Oh, my bad. I didn't mean to cut you off, brother. My bad. That, and also, there's if you dig deep, there's so much historical evidence of who the children of Israel are. I always bring out the Library of Congress map, but there's the Library of Congress Negro land map, right, where it shows in the area where most of the slaves were captured from, in that time period. It says Kingdom of Judah or Slave Coast. It's not something that most people would even think to search up, but that's historical evidence, and it's not from some random, this is from the Library of Congress government website. There's so much historical evidence, of that the people that came over here on the slave ships were the tribe, the Southern Kingdom of the Israelites. And then also there's a website where you can actually look up the names of the different slaves, because it was all documented. And a lot of them, the what's it called, the tetragrammatons. I can't say that word, but a lot of them have that in their names. Like Jeremiah, Hezekiah. These are all, these are all traditional, Paleo Hebrew names. A lot of the slaves had those names. So, that's not just coincidence. So there's plenty of historical evidence. But man, when I read scriptures like this, like the one that you just had me bring out, that Psalms 137:3, it's like, there's no one else, man. The Lord, He did it so beautifully that when you really read the scriptures, even before I knew the truth, that's what got me in the truth. Is I started reading the prophecies, and I'm like, there's no way that it's talking about anyone else. It could only be talking about us, So yeah, man, that's beautiful.
Can you go back to that Psalms? I just wanted to read that one more time.
Okay, Psalm 137.
Yeah. So yeah, like I said, Psalm 137:3. For there they that carried us away captive, required of us a song. Who carried us away captive? Esau, Edom, through the transatlantic slave trade, prophesied in Deuteronomy 28:68. All right, and it said, and they that wasted us required us of mirth.
Right. You there?
That movie, 12 Years a Slave, where Platt, the main character, is sleeping, and then a damn slave master come in there skipping and acting like a clown, or despite us working in the goddamn cotton fields all goddamn day, tired, sore, bloody, Esau coming there requiring of us, requiring of mirth from us, through these songs they're requiring of Zion, including the Swing Low, Swing Cherry song, which is a direct correlation with this prophecy here, man. So you can't get around it, like the brother was saying. There's no other demographic of people that fulfills these curses, man. Yep. You got it out.
That's right. All right, let's go back to the video. Oh shit, Salaki, hang on. Keep messing it up. Okay, boom.
Congress to get a reaction, but were not surprised when they said they would, but never set up a time to be interviewed. Radio talk show host George Wilson has been reporting from Capitol Hill for over 30 years. He's well known by every member of Congress and the Senate, but none of them would give him an interview on present-day slavery and or peonage either, even though they promised they would.
So we all had been led to believe that somehow we were past slavery and its vestiges and we were moving on to a better day. Well, seeing the footage that I saw and realizing that many of my brothers and sisters are living in not only abject poverty, but all the vestiges of slavery, it was saddening, to say the least. And it really tells me that here on Capitol Hill, we have to have lawmakers talking about this very subject. This is not something that's going away anytime soon. And this matter needs to be addressed at the highest levels of the government.
Why do you think it haven't been addressed? Because as you saw, there are documents already at the Justice Department. What's going on?
Well, it would take some, what the lawmakers like to call heat from the streets. And I think there has to be an outcry among people to say, look, this is still going on. I have relatives who are living this way, or I know of situations like this. And we have to have hearings here on Capitol Hill about it. So I think it starts out with lawmakers knowing. And I was looking at Glendora, Mississippi, and I'm almost certain that that's in Congressman Benny Thompson's district. Anytime you're talking about the Delta, you're talking about Benny Thompson. So when I see him today, I'm going to be sure to mention to him about what's happening in this district, ask him if he knows about it, and ask him if he intends to take the next step to see to it that we have congressional hearings about the condition that men, women, and children are currently existing under.
I don't blame them on that. Different people got different levels. And so when I sit and I look, and then you go back to the 13th Amendment, most folks really didn't read that right, especially black folks. But when you read it, here's what that 13th Amendment should have read like. Neither slave or indentured servitude. See, most folks don't know that there were more white folks slaves in America than black folks.
Those white people on the plantation too?
They just call them indentured servitude. And they could buy their freedom every 7 years. Probably the greatest movement in the history of the planet was the abolitionist movement. You had white folks willing to die to liberate me. Willing to kill to liberate me. I mean, think about that movement, man. They're not fighting to liberate themselves or their family. They're not killing black folks. They're killing white folks. John Brown, him and his boys, his children. They, oh, he crazy. He went up to Kansas and killed 13 white folks. No. Kansas was the first state that had death to the abolitionists. And so they hanged the first trial. And John Brown and his sons moved in there and killed 13 people, the judge and the 12 jurors. And it scared Kansas so bad, they rescinded that law the next week. The abolitionist movement, you see no movement till up in New England. One of the sad things of Frederick Douglass' life, he died brokenhearted, because he wanted to be part of the abolitionary movement. And the abolitionists said, no, Negroes can be part of this movement because y'all too childlike. Huh? Some white folks willing to die for me? Kill other white folk for me? But in their mindset, I'm too childlike. So you can't be part of this? You couldn't be part of it at all. And so when you stop and go back and then come forward, you see, it's never in our lifetime about racism or prejudice or segregation. It's about white supremacy, and most white folk don't even understand that. I remember one time my mama said, I was 9 years old, yeah, the problem with America is these old ignorant, snuff dipping, nigger hating white boys can't read or write. I couldn't say too much for my mother, but she ignorant person when you try to tell them something, they'll jump on you if you're a child. So I say to my brother, she really believed that type of white person determined.
Okay. All right. So okay. All right. So that's the end of that video. Now, Dick Gregory, he said a lot. He said a lot of good things. Okay, and this goes into what we always say about how, you know, a lot of times people will accuse, you know, Hebrew Israelites of being quote unquote racist and all that, but you know, we see things the way the Heavenly Father sees things. All right, and what we got right here, you know, this is just an outer package. With the Heavenly Father, oh, dang, brother. Oh, okay. Well, it booted him. He'll be back. He'll be back. But as I was saying, so what the Heavenly Father sees is our spirit. Okay, and He created different nations and different seed lines, and the spirit comes from your seed line. Okay, so he said, well, you know, you have white folks that was trying to liberate, you know, so-called Negroes, you know, going against other quote unquote white folks. The reason why you had that is because you have a lot of people who look so-called white that are actually Israelites. Okay, because once again, you are the seed of your father, according to Numbers chapter 1 and 18. All right. So, okay, brother's back. Father, according to Numbers chapter 1 and 18. Okay. All right. So you back. Yeah, so you heard what I was saying then. I heard you listening in. Go ahead and lower so it don't echo. But I mean, yeah, so I was pretty much going into how you are the seed of your father. So you have a lot of quote unquote white folks that are actually Jake. All right, and that's the reason why they went up against other quote unquote white folks that are Edomites, okay, in order to further assist their brethren, you know, in being free. All right, that's also the reason. Another thing that he mentioned is that you had indentured servants that were so-called white. Okay, and why is that? That's because a lot of them were up under the curses. You know, you have a lot of Latinos, you know, they're Jake, right? But they're very, very light skinned. Okay, so it doesn't go by that. It goes based off of the seed line. That's where your spirit comes from. Okay, so yeah, that was a heavy video, man. The whole thing was beautiful, and we brought some good edification out. You know, especially you was on fire tonight, brother. That was, right. And I was like, dang, you bring out some scripts. Some of them I ain't even seen before. So,
yeah, it's a spirit, man. You know, just hey, man. Any way we can edify and exhort our people. You know what I'm saying? The spirit, you know, with Kakodash going to do what it do at the end of the day. But you know, another thing, Shatan kicked me out. He has continually kicked me out of the stream. But the last time I got kicked out of the stream, I heard that Coon speaking about how more white people, and I heard you speaking about it, but I couldn't comment at the time because I got kicked out. But that Coon, Dick Gregory, who's now in the spiritual realm, was talking about how, you know, supposedly there's more white people, so-called white people that were enslaved more than so-called black people. Well, it's dumb. I'll just say it this way, you know, you don't understand the fact that there's something called Israelite foreigners. There's Jakes that look like the heathen, all right? Because case in point, there was Irishmen being enslaved by Esau, all right, even Italians, but specifically those Irishmen I'm talking about were referred as the niggers of Europe. Now, Dick Gregory would never bring any of that information out when he was alive. Okay, but see, he'll because he's carnal minded. He'll look at it on the surface, just like, you know, people would collectively, and they'll say, okay, well they're white. They'll look at Danny DeVito or Robert De Niro and say they're white. Those are so-called Negroes, man. Their bloodline goes back to the Byzantine Empire, goes back to the Southern Kingdom.
In the spirit, right? Exactly.
So that dude was a coon. That's why the Lord put that guy to death. Okay, because you know what the hell he was talking about. I just want to expand on that real quick.
Yeah, nah. I mean, that just adds on to what I was saying, though. You know, you can't. That's the reason why we're out there on the highways and byways. You know, we say the so-called white man because primarily the so-called white man fits the prophecies of Esau, but we know that not every so-called white person is an Edomite. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, another thing, like what you was going into, you know, and like I said earlier, there was, you know, so-called white people that were, you know, in captivity as indentured servants and all that, but that's because no matter what you look like, you're going to be up under the curses. Okay. No matter what you look like, the curses didn't discriminate, you know, just because you were light or dark. So that's how Jake is identified, you know, and that's another curse as well, is that speckled bird, you know, what we used to formerly call the confusion of faces. You know, how we can't look at somebody and tell if they're Jake or not. So what we do, we just go out there and preach, and now it's through the Spirit. And really, at the end of the day, with the times we're coming into, it's gonna be the elect versus everybody. It's not gonna even matter, you know, because 2/3 of our own people are enemies, you know, according to prophecy. And then you got East, and then you got the heathen nation. So at the end of the day, it's either you're in this truth, you're part of the hopeful elect, or you're not. And if you're not part of the hopeful elect, then, you know, hey, it's pretty much, it's like I said, it's pretty much F you, man. All right,
right.
It's that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of what you look like, okay. You know, because hey, these niggas out here, man. You know, 2/3 niggas are just. I'm not gonna say as bad as Esau. You know, because Esau he does evil on a macro level. Esau does evil on a giant, worldwide, diabolical type shit. You know what I'm saying? But Jake 2/3 niggas, we catch hell from them too. You know, from 2/3 Jakes. So at the end of the day, it's really the elect. You either in this truth, are you part of the elect, or you're not. And that's what it is. It's the elect against the world, which the Lord gonna pretty much kill everybody that's not of the elect anyways. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is. So
that's right.
Yep. But all right, man, we're gonna close out.
And
hey, Lord's will, this was edifying to the elect. All right, wherever you may be scattered through the four winds of heaven, four corners of the earth. That being said, as always, we want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Bakak Kodash. Yep, double honors to the head apostles / elder bishops of the great millstone who teach and who rule well. Peace, blessings, and safety. To all you sincere Akim, keep pushing, keep believing, and keep the faith, regardless of what we will hear, whether they forbear. Until next time, Shalom and a Bible
Bible ball. Soon. Very soon.
Very soon.
Gone.